What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. It's time for another episode of 7 on Sundays, the series where I count down either 7 of my favorite things or else 7 other things that I think are awesome or 7 things that I think you need to know about. And the one that I'm doing this week falls under the latter of those, things that I think you should probably know about. I'm doing a viewer requested one this week, and this one comes from Jeff Emerson. He requested that I talk about 7 reviews that I regret doing, and I actually thought that this was a pretty interesting topic. Instead of maybe just reacting to videos, which I may do at some point, I might do a video where I react to some of my old reviews, but this week I want to focus on things that I probably should not have released, but I did anyways. I might try and redo some of these reviews at some point if I have the time, so if you're interested in seeing me do that, let me know with a comment down below, and of course I'm going to play some clips before I get into each discussion here with these reviews that I regret. I hope you enjoy. You didn't think it could get much worse than Anarchy, my dear, did you? Well, I'm here to tell you that it got way worse. The band has sunk way down the rabbit hole, and they've just gone a long way from their Is a Real Boy days. This album came out at a time where I was just really hyped up about some other music and was just not interested in it at all. And while I still don't enjoy this record by any definition of the word enjoy, I didn't come across as open-minded. That's what I'm getting at. I'm beating around the bush there, but I was definitely a little bit too critical of this album, and I feel like, oh, it didn't sound like this, so I'm upset, and that's kind of how I came across. So I do apologize for that. That's why I had to include this one at number 7 on my list. Get Your Heart On. No, not Get Your Heart On. Not Heart On. Heart On. Get Your Heart On is the first studio album since 2008. Time for some of my favorite songs on the album. Favorites, Can't Keep My Hands Off You. It was released back in the end of March. It was a promotional single, and they made a music video for it for that movie, that stupid movie Prom. Shaking my head at the fact that this video is still online. It's just one of those things where I'm like, every week I'm like, maybe I should delete some old videos, maybe I should delete some old videos. This is one of the ones that I want gone. Simple Plan's Get Your Heart On. I basically talked in circles about how, well, you know, I had a favorite song here, a favorite song here. I basically listed the entire fucking album as favorites, and I did that back in the day. That was my idea of an album review, apparently. Sit down, talk about how they sounded in the past, and then talk about like how great their new sound is or how bad they suck now, and then like list favorites and least favorites. Simple Plan's Get Your Heart On was an early victim of me doing this, and just the way that I presented myself, I look like a total asshole. I'm sitting there like with my like super long hair. That's fine. The hair, nothing really bothered me. I'm wearing like my backwards cap, and I'm like talking in like a weird like whisper, like fake persona type thing. I didn't know how to talk to the camera, I don't think, and it's just so cringeworthy, so awkward that I just want to delete it, but I can't. The two-man band thing is something I really like. I was a huge fan of the White Stripes, and it's a shame that they broke up, but I'm glad the Black Keys are still holding it down for a garage rock band, a two-piece band. Number 5 is making the list mainly because I only gave a 3-minute review to an album that was one of my favorites of that year. I'm not exactly sure why I couldn't dedicate more time to that, especially since I was coming more full circle with the reviews that I was doing at that time. It's just one of those ones that I look at it, it confuses me. I didn't really talk about things in detail, even though I totally have a lot of things to say. This is definitely one that I want a redemption review for at some point. Beyond that, there's not a lot of tracks that really catch my attention, I guess you could say. There's Don't Get Lost in Heaven, which has its moments instrumentally, but a lot of this album is just so chill, and it's just like I get lost and like I start thinking about other things. I can't focus on the music because, you know, it's just not something that's memorable to me. Demon Days was only reviewed because my old roommate, who you might remember was a huge Gorillaz fan, he appeared in some videos with me and that sort of thing, he really wanted me to talk about it. He wanted that Demon Days review, and some of my viewers did as well, I'm not gonna lie. I could have said no. I should have said no, because even though I don't like this record really in full, I don't care for it, I'd probably still agree with the rating that I gave it. I know that it's special to a lot of people, and it was like 8 years old at the time. I didn't really have a reason to. It was like most people already have a formed opinion on it, so I didn't really have to share that. I don't know. I just kind of regret that one just because I really didn't want to upload it. People saying Green Day have lost it. I don't exactly know what's going through your mind, because the boys are definitely on track, some of the best music they've ever made in their career. And to everyone who's already typing in the comments, you know, like, oh, I like old Green Day better, they're never gonna be the same, or why don't they do another rock opera? Well,
you can go ahead and fuck right on off.
Number 3 is Uno. That doesn't make sense. Wait, numbers, can't count. Anyways, Uno by Green Day is on this list mainly because I came off like a total fucking fanboy on this video and I hate it. This album, it wasn't that good. And if I couldn't see that at the time, I was clearly blinded by my love for this band, and I hate to come across like one of those guys that's just like, I have to love everything this band puts out, because that's not the case. I don't know if I've matured more at this point, which I think I definitely have. I think looking back at it, that album is a 3.5 at best, and I gave that a perfect score. A lot of those songs were very basic in nature. The lyrics sucked on half of them, I'm not even gonna lie, and the instrumentals were very predictable. I think they got better as the trilogy went on. Like, Dose is probably my second favorite at this point, and then Trey is just outstanding in most regards. I apologize for releasing that video. I hate that it's one of my most viewed videos of all time, and I do love Green Day, but I'm not really a huge fan of that album. Probably a 3 or 3.5 if I'm being honest.
First listen. Now, why would I want to do that, you might ask? 1, sheer disappointment. 2, just frustration, anger.
Number 2, Reign of Terror by Sleigh Bells, another example of me being so biased and so unwelcoming to new material that it's just hard for me to even watch. I'm sorry you watched it. A lot of people did. A lot of people got pissed off, and they probably should, because I didn't even really explain myself in this video. I kind of, once again, talked in circles, talked about, I miss their old sound, they don't sound like that anymore. And while that can be a valid argument, if a band changes up their sound and it just doesn't work, but I think that I was kind of coming off closed-minded because at the time I had just gotten into Treats, like maybe like 2 months before that, and I really wanted more material like that, and I was upset. Looking back at it now, I love tracks like Demons, Crush, and of course Comeback Kid, and while it's not my favorite album by them, it's probably my least favorite still, it deserved more than what I gave it.
Lyrically and just the way they sound, some of the songs just sound like, you know, like this isn't very original. I've heard this before. The low points on the album for me are Nothing Left to Say, Underdog.
You probably didn't see number 1 coming, and I'm going to explain why Night Visions by Imagine Dragons made this list, and of course why it topped this list. Mainly, it is my number 1 most viewed video of all time, clocking in 100,000 views, right around there I believe at the time of recording this video, and I kinda hate that, because I didn't really talk about this album in excruciating detail, and I just didn't know that it was gonna take off and blow up like that. I don't know, I kinda came off like an asshole in the video, I feel like, and that's okay for me to present that kind of style, that kind of attitude whenever I'm coming down on something, but this is one that I was just kind of mixed on. I didn't love or hate it, and I don't know, I feel like I put off this kind of persona that wouldn't be welcoming, and so many people saw that, and that's just kind of a big regret of mine. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know with a thumbs up that you did like it, and of course, let me know other episodes of 7 on Sunday you'd like to see. I'm trying to keep this as a weekly series. Leave comments maybe with something that you regret, something that you put on YouTube that you maybe wish could be taken down, or maybe like a song you released like when you were 13 years old and you were like, holy shit, looking back at it now, this is terrible. That's like me and pretty much everything I recorded before the age of like 15, or maybe even 16, or maybe 20, I don't know. You guys let me know with a comment down below what you think if you've seen some of my old stuff. Thanks for watching and subscribing. I'll see you very soon right here on Beyond ARTV.